We see your wonderful stage picture. Now we see you.
Oh, you see me? Okay, good, good. All right, there we go. All right, so Tanya asked me to be on today, talk to you a little bit and just meet everybody, and just excited to be on the call. For those of you that don't know me, since Tanya said you have quite a few new people on board, you know, I've been doing this now for 16 years, almost 16 and a half years. And you've come in at a good time, right place in the right time, I'll tell you. I know that, Tanya, were you able to listen to that report yesterday?
I'm waiting to hear the news.
Okay, so anyway, so we're in a good spot. There's a lot of things happening right now. Obviously, Wall Street thinks we're in a good spot because in the last week we've gone up about $30 for stock. When I got on board, it was about 20 cents a share. Now it's like up to 90. But anyway, but there's a lot of reasons for that because there's a lot of growth happening with Optavia. We're almost 90% of their business, of Medifast business, and there's a lot of things happening that they're going to happen probably this year, and then next year we're starting to go into other countries, and there's a lot of growth that could happen right here. I'd say right in your own backyard. You know, we're less than 1% of the marketplace right now as far as what our potential is, and so there's a lot of room for growth. Going back 16 and a half years ago when I first got on the program and lost 30 pounds, and I don't know if you can see. Let me see here. Can you see my picture?
We like
okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay, good. So that's me. That's me 16 and a half years ago at my sister's wedding, singing with her, and that's me on stage a few years back in Anaheim, speaking in front of a couple thousand people at that point. This year looks like a convention we're going to have probably over 5,000 people. So it's going to be, it keeps on getting better and better every year. But when I got, take that off now. So when I got on board, yes, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to get healthier. But I really didn't know, you know, what everything was at that point. Of course, I was brand new, just like some of you. And I decided to become a coach right out of the gate because I saw what this could do for me. And I'm like, if this could do this for me, it can work on anyone. You know, I feel the same way about the business. If this can work for me, it can work on anyone. So don't put a lot of thought into like, oh, I got to do this and this and this and this and this. Just go out and share with people what you have. Use your mentorship team because that's the most important thing, getting people involved in the community. I'd say the biggest key factor for me with my health and with my finances and everything as far as this business goes is staying plugged in, period. Like staying plugged into the calls. Any event that I qualify for, I'm there. I've always went to events. I've never missed an event in the 16 years I've been doing this. And just staying engaged with my mentorship, because you can't do it alone. You can't do it by yourself. You know, if you're on an island, get off the island. You know, don't try to do it yourself. I'll give you an example. I put on in the last year. I put on actually more coaches in the last year than I have probably in the last 4 or 5 years because I got to a point where, you know, my business was great and everything, and I didn't do as much as far as bringing on new coaches. But recently I have brought on some new coaches, and I probably put on like 7 coaches this last year, which isn't a lot. Like the first year I did this, I think first couple of years I did this, I was putting on probably 2 a month because I wasn't working that many hours. I'll let you know that in just a second. But my point is that the last 7 coaches, less than half have actually gotten people on calls with me. And guess which coaches are senior manager? You know, some of them going. I think going to go executive this month. It's the coaches that did the calls with me. Period. Like you can't do it by yourself. I can't do it by myself. I wouldn't even assume that. And you know what? If you assume things, you know what can happen there. So, but anyway, so you know you want to stay plugged into to mentorship, and you want to stay plugged in with what's going on. Hold on a second. I gotta charge my phone. I don't want to. It said 10%. All right. So going back to going back to 16 years ago, I was a contractor, and I was up in Portland, Oregon. We now live in Boise, Idaho, and I'm calling from my car, by the way, if you didn't notice. But I have 7 kids. I had 4 kids at the time I started this, and you know, I was very busy as a contractor. I hardly had any time for family. I was putting in 80 hours a week. I owned my own business, but I felt like the business owned me. I had 8 employees. I had about 4 sales guys. I think at the time my business went through a bankruptcy, unfortunately. But I was doing that that kind of business for about 10 years. I did painting and pressure washing and kind of more of the maintenance side of homes, more homes than residential or than commercial. Did some commercial jobs, but I was tired of adult babysitting, and I was tired of feeling like even though I didn't work for somebody else, I worked for myself. There's something to be said about working for yourself and working smarter than harder, and finding people that want the same things you want. That's what I love about this business, is because all of you can have the same thing that I have or that Tanya has by just going out and doing the work. And there's no ceiling with this. It just depends on what you want out of it. With me and my other traditional business, my employees were never going to make as much as I was going to make. Okay, because that's just the way it works. Because I was in business to make money. But this is the thing, is that with this business, everybody has the same opportunity. So I love that about this business model. So I got in, I started servicing clients right out of the gate. Didn't have a lot. I would say I probably got my first 5 clients maybe within 2 months. I didn't do it within my first 30 days. I know that. But I kept on working it. So every week I'd put in maybe a couple hours a day, and I didn't have a lot of time. Like I already told you, I was putting in 70, 80 hours a week. My wife wasn't really too gung-ho at first on this business because I had tried several things prior to this, and nothing really, I would say, really worked well. I had tried different business models, and now I know why they didn't work. But this is the thing. This business model, if you work it, will work. Just like the program works, the 5-in-1, eat every 3 hours, drink plenty of water. You go out and talk to enough people, work with enough people, build the relationships. That's the key. It'll work. So I was putting in. So my wife basically gave me an ultimatum. She said, if this doesn't work and you do anything else, we're done. That's basically what it came down to. And I understood that. And I wanted to put the effort into it. So I went out there, and I basically, on just maybe 10 hours a week, within 1 year period of time, I was making as much as I was making as a contractor. I was making, roughly per month, I was making over $5,000 a month in income. And I was only putting in 10 hours a week. Now, I'm not real smart, but I know that equates to a lot of money per hour. And I decided to go more into it the next year. The second year, that's when I went through my business bankruptcy. So there was a lot of things that happened there, but my brother, who owned the same kind of business as I owned, he took over all my clients, and I worked for him for that next year, just selling jobs, basically, while I was building this business. But that next year, I put probably 20 hours a week into it. At the end of 2 years, I was making a 6-figure income. So when I tell people this, they go, wow, that was pretty impressive. What was impressive is that I kept on doing it, regardless of if I had people say, no, I'm not interested. And I didn't really care if people said no, because no just means to me they don't know enough, or I haven't painted a big enough picture to them, or they're just not ready yet. That's all that means. So I just kept the relationships going. But I kept on building it, and that was 14 years ago that I was at that level, and I just kept on doing it and working with people like Tanya, just the people that wanted it, and you guys have great mentorship there. So utilize that to the fullness that you can, and bring people on, get them to know what it is about community, what it is about your coach, and get them, the Facebook groups and different things. Utilize the tools that you have is what I'm saying. But I decided at that point I was going to build even bigger, and I decided to really help other people do what I did. And I think over the years we've helped I think over 100 people earn a 6-figure income. 5 or 6 earn a 7-figure income. This is not a small business. This is a big business. And, but this is the thing. It's all about consistent effort. You know, it's like Dr. A talks about with the habits of health. It's not the big things you do. It's the little things you do on a daily basis that make the difference. And you can't just like go one day and do a whole bunch and then don't do anything for a month. It doesn't work that way. You got to keep on building the relationships. And this is all about relationship building. But this is the thing is the biggest thing is getting plugged in, staying plugged in. So all of you, I would say if you want to treat your business like a business, not a hobby, I would go to National Convention. If you're qualified for Go Global, go to that. National Convention this year is only like a couple $100, I think. Then you obviously got to get there and, you know, room with somebody if you need to, whatever it is. But I'm just saying it's well worth it. The numbers prove it, that if you go do certain things, you'll get certain results. It's not a guarantee if you go that you're going to be, you know, successful. You still have to do the work, but it definitely keeps you going, keeps you inspired, keeps you motivated. So back to kind of what I was talking with Tanya about even before the call, with the stock going up and everything. If you listen to the call, there's a lot of things in there that Dan Chart, our new, well, he's not new now, I guess, been there for a few years, but he's basically the CEO of Medifast. That the company Medifast and Optavia are sharing one vision, and there's a lot of things happening there. A lot of you know that, you know, people can go through Medifast right now to get product for, you know, it doesn't have the same thing as obviously Optavia with the community and all the four components, our coach, community, habits of health, and our fueling. They get pretty much just the food going through there, but there's a lot of things happening there, and they're working on making it to where that is a part of the business that supports the coaches. So basically, you know, you go through certain portals, so to speak, and you get a coach. And the only way you're going to get it, so there's a leads program right now that's associated with it, and they're working on something even better. But right now, currently, if somebody asks for a coach, they're gonna get one. What he was hinting at is that eventually it's going to be you got to have a coach, because it's the only thing that makes sense if you look at all the research that's been going on. The company makes sense. They're looking at what's in their best interest for their stockholders and everything else, and also looking at what's in our best interest, because we are the biggest part of their business right now. They used to have more clinics, used to have different things going on there. A lot of those things are phasing out. Our model is the best model. It always has been, but now it's been proven over and over again, and we're going in a way better direction now than we even were even a year ago. In fact, I just flew out to the company's headquarters a few weeks ago and saw what's going on there, and it's amazing. Everybody is so supportive of the coaches and what's going on in the field. It's very exciting to see a lot of the things that are changing and that I've been waiting for 16 and a half years to change. So I'm very excited about that. So anyway, I'll put it back to you there for a second.
Gotcha. Anyway, Bryan, I was wondering too if you wouldn't mind putting in a plug about maps. Again, these are brand new coaches, kind of their first step as to, we do an assessment to see what our coaches need. They need to realize what a map is so that I know what they need. Okay, good.
So yeah, I would recommend using the map. And have you seen the new version of the map?
Yesterday.
Okay, good. Okay, so I mean, it's great. But you need it. So you need to have your goals. You need to know what it is you want to do for the month. And if you have your goals and your coach has your goals, then you guys can work together. That's so important to have that map on a monthly basis, and even working on it daily. But just have it out in front of you. Now, if you're not a senior coach yet, we recommend you get the senior coach. And if you're not a senior coach, I would ask this: have you done 10 calls with Tanya? Yes, because that's what I did between 5 and 10 out of all the people I have. Out of the 7 I have 3 that are senior or higher, and all of them I did between 5 and 10 assessments, health assessments. You know, I did them first, and then I had them do it, and I watched them do it, and I made sure that they got it. And now what I'm doing with them is just client story calls, or what do you want to tip call, whatever you want to call it, really getting to know their clients a little bit better, so I can find out which one of them is going to be a coach. So there's a process you go through. First is getting on call with your mentorship. And by the way, if you have a problem, if it's having a hard time doing that, figure it out why that is. It may be because of the way you're saying it, whatever it may be. And some people just like, well, I don't know if I want to get on a call, but if you word it in the right way, they'll get on a call with you. So that's a whole training thing. But you know, just use the system that's in place, just like the program that's in place. Use the system as it's designed. So, you know, you make your list, you get in front of some people, you talk to them about it, but don't do all the talking at first. Have your mentor do the talking at first, so you can kind of learn it as you go. And then get your map down, which basically talks about what is your goals for the month. Once you have a few clients going, and who the next coach is going to be, if that's the direction you want to go. I would say this: if you want to earn residual income, you're going to want coaches on your team. You can earn residual income also off clients, but if you want a bigger business, and if you want something, you know, it really depends on what it is you want, and that's going to be up to you, and going over with your mentor about that. But anything is possible with this, and I hopefully you got that a little bit from me today, that this is not a you know, sometimes people think like, oh, coaching, that'd be fun, you know, and it's kind of a small time. It's not a small time business; it's a big time business, and you can do as much as you want to with it, but that's determined on how many people you talk to. I always tell people the only difference between me and you is that I've talked to way more people, and I've had way more people say no. I would say in my career of going on 17 years, I would say I've had well over 1,000 no's. And my point to that is, I don't care if people say no. That's not the point. Is I'm looking for the ones that want it. And so I know that if I've got somebody that says no, it's just that they don't know enough, or maybe I haven't painted a big enough picture, maybe I haven't gotten them for my mentor, or they're just not ready yet. And so I keep the relationship going with people, and it is a timing thing. It never happens all at once, but what can happen over the years is you can develop a big team of clients and coaches and people that you've helped with their health, and it's going to all be positive. There's no negatives in this. In fact, I've never seen a negative. Excuse me. The only people that lose are the people that lose weight, period. Everybody wins in this scenario. So, Tanya, back to you.
I know you've got a few minutes, but I did promise them that they could ask any questions. So
that's fine. I got some time.
Okay.
That's good.
So anybody that has any questions for Bryan, now's your chance. If anything else, just say hi, because hopefully if we keep going to these events like he says, that helps get to meet your mentor, and it's good to see the face-to-face, and Bryan's a great source for us. So.
And also, Tanya, it's just great to hear the stories, you know, to get inspired, because the stories is what tells it all. Like I would say the better the story. So if you're having a lot of struggles right now, great. And people go, what are you talking about? Great. I'm like, no, great. The more struggles you have and get through that, the better your story is, and the more people you're going to impact, period. Like, I love when people have, I say bad stories, but I love when people have a struggle and stories, because right behind that struggle is a success if they continue to struggle through it and work it. My business bankruptcy was the best thing that ever happened in my life as far as financially for me, and I lost everything. Now, I don't recommend going through a business bankruptcy. Don't recommend that. But what I do recommend is going through your struggles and understanding that those struggles are going to make you better if you choose to be better. If you choose not to be better, then they won't make you better. And you got to choose to create the life you want, not go into manage mode or blaming, or the next phase is dying. But always focus on creating what it is you want to accomplish. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
And again, if you're getting no's, then you need to go back to the system. And I'm happy to get on the phone because I've been around long enough. I'm not getting no's. I'm needing help. But I would love, we heard from Michelle last week, but I would love to just have her say hi again because she was one that said no to me 3 years ago. And now she's like our energy in this team. And she hates when I put her on the spot. So go.
Yeah, I hate it when you do that to me, but thank you so much. Yeah, I told her no 3 years ago, and I still was telling her no until the day that I signed up. So here I am coaching, doing pretty good, struggling this month a little bit, but I've got 2 phone calls scheduled for this afternoon, and I'm supposed to be meeting someone that's coming to work here in a little bit. So just trying to do what I can do while working 13 hours.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. And you know, another thing too about the, you know, numbers don't lie. So if you use your mentorship, especially at the beginning, doing some calls, making sure you know how to do the health assessment, all that, getting used to that, and then doing it on your own, you're still going to have to go through, 50 people to have 10 clients. Okay. 100 to have 20. But what's the win there? The win is you've just talked to 100, and it doesn't mean the 80 are not going to do it. It means they're not going to do it now. It's just keeping those relationships going. But what's the big win? The big win is you're helping somebody with their health. You're helping that person improve their life. In fact, the way I look at it, if I talk to somebody about the program or the business, I'm giving them an opportunity. I'm doing them a favor. I'm doing them a favor by talking to them, guys. Now, if you don't have that mindset, get it. Because you really are doing them a favor. Like, what they're going to gain from it is better than what you're going to gain from it. It always is. Whether you're talking about someone becoming a client or a coach. I mean, if I put on a coach, like, okay, Michelle, so if I put you on as a coach and you go out and let's say you sign up 5 people to be on the program and you make $400, what did I make? I didn't make $400.
Yeah.
You always make more as a coach than the business coach does. If you go out there and you sponsor and you sign up, 20 clients and maybe a few coaches, you're going to make probably, let's say two to maybe $2,500 a month. I'm going to make like 200. Right. Who wins? We both do, but you win big. Right. Exactly. So the point is work the numbers too. Tanya, you want to say something about that?
I just like what you said. You talk to enough people and it all comes back around. But my plug for that is you take care of your people and you'll get referrals.
That's so true.
That we won't go into, but one person didn't take care of another and it came back around that they lost them and they found somebody else to coach with. So
yep.
Trust me, you need to take care of your people. And when you say you're going to follow up, you follow up and you be consistent, because if you're not, your business is only temporary.
No, you're right. In fact, I've had lots of people that got in this to sell MetaFast. Not a good thing to do. If that's all you're interested in is making a buck, drop out. Because it's not going to work. And it's honestly not. It's not worth my time or Tanya's time. If you're here to help impact people's lives and you really want to build relationships, stay in and stay engaged.
Actually,
because that's what it's all about.
Here.
What's that?
The ones that did that aren't here today. They have dropped out.
That's good. Well, that's good. And that's it's honestly it always happens that way though. Because, people that are just interested in selling something are not going to do well with it. I've had people through the years that have done that, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't, because you're doing somebody a disservice by not building the relationship, by not being there for them. Now, you don't have to spend a lot of time with them. In fact, I don't recommend spending a lot of time with them. Maybe the first week or the first time you talk to them, obviously. But in the first, make sure they get in fat burn and all that. Make sure they're going through the process right. But you want to teach a person to fish, not give them a fish, or you're going to end up being, you know, the whole support system for that person. That goes back to the island thing. Don't be on an island by yourself. Get them involved in the community with other coaches and make sure that they understand the bigger picture here. But as far as, you know, your Tanya's exactly right. Like, if you're servicing people well and you're there for them, not giving up on them, even if they go inactive, whatever, you know, you're there, you're going to get referrals. You're going to have people talk about it. You know, I mean, you know, ask for referrals, but you're going to have people talk about it if you're doing a good job. If you're not doing a good job, they're going to find another coach. And so that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense just to get involved and sell and make money because it's short-lived. It's not long-term. And if you want a good residual income business, you're going to have to build the relationships with people. And also, it's again a benefit for all involved.
Right. Anybody else want to share your story or say hi? Or this is the famous Bryan Drollenger, just so you all know.
I don't know about famous, but okay. I saw a few people waving, so that's good.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just going to say hi. That I've enjoyed listening to today, and I've been telling Tanya about a son I have that lives in Lehigh, and he is a executive health administrator, and he's getting more and more interested as I lose a few pounds here and there. So he's interested
Nice.
for himself, but I could just see him doing very well because he's thinking about putting in his own business, and him and his wife both have master's degrees in business. And,
Nice.
Very outgoing people. And anyway,
Good.
I'm hoping that maybe you and Tanya could speak to him. So that's what I'm hoping. I think it would really be good for him to hear you too.
Yeah, no problem. In fact, I mean, what I recommend with that is just keeping the conversation going. Obviously, getting other conversations going as well. You never know when people are going to do it. I'll give you an example of my family. Hopefully, doesn't happen to you, but this is what happened to me. So I had my parents get involved initially with me. They got out and then got back in. They do better than they've ever done anything else before with this. But they left for a while, came back. And then my siblings, I have seven kids, but I also have 6 brothers and sisters. So I'm the oldest of 7. All of them wanted nothing to do for it for 10 years. But they heard me all the time. They saw the success. They saw us going on trips. They saw all these things going on. And they always got like to where at Thanksgiving, you know, we'd all get together and they'd be like, "Stop talking about your stuff, Bryan." It was so funny because then they talk about their crap and how they hate their job and all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys really want to listen to that, or you want to listen to this trip that I just took? So anyway, you know, and what you can do, right? So 10 years later, all of them got involved, every single one of them, because they saw the success that was going on. But it wasn't because I did anything. It's because they came to a convention, and because they came to an event, because they saw other people, right? That's that third-party credibility. The other thing is, my brother who took over my business when my business went bankrupt, took over my clients, you know, he had a big win there, right? You know, and I was struggling and all that. And so 10 years later, he calls me up and says, "So, Bryan, how do you get involved in this thing? I want to do it." You could have like pushed me over with a feather, you know. I mean, I was like, "What?" But you know what's funny is because my parents were involved. I'm like, "Well, go talk to mom and dad." so they're all working with my parents. But this is the thing is that you know, you don't give up. People give up on themselves. You never give up on them. But you don't spin your wheels either. Don't spin your wheels with people. Don't, you know, just get the information out gradually. You know, drip on them. And people usually have to hear about the program like up to 7 times before they get involved. The same thing with the business. So don't get frustrated. People don't jump on it right away. You know, it's like because they can't see what you see. It will happen over time, and the numbers don't lie. So the 20-80 rule works for just about everything that I've used it for. You know, 20% will do 80% of your work or the revenue. You know, 2 out of 10 people will get on board if they hear a presentation. Now, don't take that as, I handed out 100 cards, so, I should be good. No. First of all, I use Facebook as my card now, so they can see what's going on. But the point is you got to build the relationships. It's all about relationships.
Awesome. Yeah, they just started, and a couple days after they signed up to coach, they already invited a bunch of people over. So they're
cool.
In the action steps.
Awesome.
Anybody else, or I'll call you out? Oh, Paula's saying.
I've got one.
Oh, I'm writing on my face. Sarah,
I've got one.
Hi, I'm out of Aztec and Michelle Reedhead. So I'm a newbie. I got my husband. He's my client. Or not my client, my client.
Her guinea pig.
Yeah.
My guinea pig. So he'll start. He should get his box in on tomorrow, and so we'll start him this weekend.
Great.
So I'm hoping after we finally have a story started, then we can, an experience, then we can start sharing, because people want to see results, I think, and it's hard to say, hey, I have this exciting program for you. I don't have anything personally to share. So once we get started, it'll be exciting.
So Sarah, let me give you a little bit of advice there.
Okay.
So you actually have some stories to share. You have mine. You have Tanya's. You have other people on the line. You want to use those stories that you have heard and say, well, so and so did this, and that, you want to make sure you have those stories in your story bag, so you can pull them out at any time. It doesn't really, like, we have a lot of people that have had success that had no weight to lose. We have some people that are integrated presidential directors that had no weight to lose. So it's not about you losing weight and not having a story. Everybody has a story. You got to figure out what your story is. You may just use the fueling so you get your 6 meals in a day, and maybe you're already doing that, but it's just more convenient, so you have that story, right? And then your husband has a story. Then Tanya has a story, and I have a story. I lost 30 pounds and kept it off. You have all these people with different stories. Utilize those, because it all comes down to what's in it for them. It's not about you. It's what they can do for them. And I understand that it can be harder sometimes when you first start, because you're like, you don't really, because you haven't really heard all the stories. But take all the stories that you're hearing and listen to them and use those, because you're going to be able to help a lot more people that way.
Thank you.
Well, our story is to improve their quality of life, like you said. So I know for a fact that with these right tools, we can do that. And like somebody like Ron has a 95-pound weight loss story and stuff. I just, like you said, use their stories. And that's why I like you guys all to get on this and get you to meet each other. That's why we have events, local, these, coaching events, so that you can get to know these people and use their story. I will never have a 95-pound weight loss story, but I know of somebody that has done it and is doing awesome with it. So, and it's not weight loss. Get that out of your head. Right?
Well, no, it's not. I mean, think about this. How many people do you know don't have the time and money that they want to do the things they want to do in their life?
Amen.
99.9%. That's where that gets. So there's another thing too. Is how many people do you know that are skinny fat? So they're not fat, but they're not healthy. I mean, I would say probably 90+% of the people out there like to go fit into that category. I'd say that less than 5% actually do the right thing.
Or their wallet's skinny and they're fat. No, just kidding.
There you go. So I think Ron had a question, or Ron said something. I saw Ron say something.
Let me unmute here. Oh, can you hear me?
You're unmuted. Yep.
The struggle I've been having, they were doing okay, but coach-wise, but I have 2 other businesses I'm running. Just how did you juggle that with, all the time? And, I know we can do more. I guess you always know you can do more, but how do you juggle that and try to get it?
Okay.
Keep your other stuff
That
going?
comes back down to your why, Ron. Because my why was big, because I hated the fact that I worked 80 hours a week. Like, I knew that if I didn't put in the time, I wasn't getting the time. Like, if I said, if I could easily could have just said, you know what, I just don't have the time to do this. And where would I be today? Not where I am. My point is this. If everything's working well for you, and like the two other businesses, whatever you're doing, in 5 years from now, where are you going to be? My thing was, in my business, in 5 years from then, where it was going to be did not look good to me. I was like, no, it ain't going to work, you know? So it just depends. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on what your goals are. But I wanted the time freedom. The biggest thing for me was the time freedom, because I didn't have that. I also wanted to earn more money. I wanted to earn a 6-figure income. I wanted to earn a 7-figure income, and I knew that was possible. But I needed to put the time in to do it. And so, in other words, it was like it's like a catch-22. It's like, if I don't put the time in, I'm not going to get the time out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's about being consistent. So you can find opportunities in whatever you're doing. What other two businesses do you own?
We run a cattle ranch, and I'm a real estate agent. So.
Okay. So the real estate agent, you're probably going to have a little more opportunity than the cattle ranch. I mean, you got the guys helping you with the cattle, but besides that, you're going to be talking to cattle all day. Yeah. But the real estate, you know, you can always talk to people. I mean, I had my own business, and I was talking to people all the time, finding opportunities. You know, you look for opportunities, and then I had to spend the extra time, like the extra hour to 2 hours a day to be consistent with it, because if I didn't, I'd be in the same situation a year from then, the same situation 2 years from then. So it just depends on what it is you're looking for. But if you have a big enough why, none of that's going to matter. My wife, on the other hand, she was like trying to figure out, she's like, well, hold on a second. So you're putting in, 80 to 90 hours now a week instead of just, 70 to 80. So what is it that, what's it going to get for us? I said, you wait and see. It'll be great. And we went through some struggles, but I'll tell you what, now, if I want to take off a week, I take off a week. I don't even think about the money. I just go and do it. If we want to go to Hawaii for the week, we'll go to Hawaii for a week. I mean, I'm just telling you, that's the life I live now, but we don't always do that because we have the kids still. We still have 2 kids at home. Well, we had 3 kids at home. 3 older ones or 4 of the older ones are out. But so it's still kind of hard. We actually homeschool the kids so we can travel all the time if we want to. So we want to take off for a week, we go for a week. My point is, I couldn't do that with my other business. I couldn't just like leave for a week and expect anything to be even close to what it was when I left, because my employees would screw it up. Or if you're in real estate, for example, okay, so you can make me leave, but if you don't sell a job, you don't make money. You don't sell a house, you don't make any money. So you could make good money doing real estate, but is it consistent? Meaning that if you don't do it next month, are you going to make any money? No. I wanted something residual. Does that make sense? Like, I was like looking for something where I could take off, and I've taken off for a whole 2 months before and made more money while I was gone than when I was home working. Where can you have that? You see what I'm getting at? So it's more of the balance of life. It's having the time and the money to do the things you want to do, and also the vision of the impact you're going to have on other people's health. So, we were just awarded. We had it at convention this last year. We impacted over 500,000 lives. That's pretty cool. Like, I couldn't do that in anything else I was doing. Like that the mission is to get America healthy and in the world. That mission is going to be, I mean, that's a long way out, right? We're less than 1% of our marketplace. And I don't know about you, wherever you live, but I guarantee you less than 1 person out of 100 is on our program wherever you live. This is very impactful on people's lives. It changes lives. So when I say I'm doing somebody a favor by even talking to them, I believe that. Like, I'm not saying that just because to say it. I am doing somebody a favor when I'm offering the program or the opportunity to them. I'm giving them a chance at a second life. to live life more full. Period. Like, I don't know of anything I don't know of anything besides religion for me would be probably number one, but I don't know of anything besides that even comes close to having an impact than we do. Does that make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
So, and again, it depends on your why, Ron. It depends on what it is you're looking for. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could be totally content with what you're doing. I mean, so I don't know but obviously you're on this call and obviously you're doing stuff, so you want more. But then again, it's not just about money either and time, because I know a guy that I put on at my church that lost 50 pounds in our program, and he's a coach. And he is a multimillionaire. He owns a bunch of gas stations. He has his kids running his gas stations for him. He's still busier than I think that he wants to say that he is. But he makes probably over $1 million a year. He's now a manager with this company, so he's making about $1,000 a month. He's got like 10 clients, 12 clients. He's got one coach, but he's not doing it for the money. But then again, I look at him and I go, because he sees what I have, and he goes, hold on a second, you're making a residual income every month regardless of if you work. Yes. But also I would never stop doing what I'm doing. Why? Because I'm making an impact. And because I could always, I mean, when people say, it's not about the money, I kind of laugh, because I'm like, well, really? So you have everything in life that you want? You have all the experiences that you want in life?
True. I think all of us want more experiences. And I don't care about the stuff necessarily, but I do care about the experiences. Like me to take my family on a 2-month trip back to DC and back and do a history trip with them, priceless.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Michelle, Reedhead, or Ray, would you guys like to say hi at all?
Well, I will say hi, and also I was going to tell Sarah, you can either look on my Facebook or you can get with Tanya. You can also use my story. I've got a before and after. I lost a little over 40 pounds, but the big thing is I've had 2 heart attacks. I'm 60 years old. So having stories from different age groups, I think helps you, that it's not just, it's for everybody. You don't have to be young. It definitely helps. It helps everybody at every age. So having that diversity, that just keeps your mind open to what your market really is.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's great.
And Michelle lives in the same community that Ron does, but she works for a pharmacy tech, and I didn't realize that until I approached her, but I'm like, you could do a lot with this, but she's just trying to get going, and so anyway, we're starting there, right, Michelle?
Excited. Thanks for all the comments you made, Bryan, because a lot of the things that Tanya's already been trying to tell me, you kind of backed her up in what you said. Getting said no to is hard. It gets you down a little bit. It's like, oh man, but I was an island. I'm not anymore. Include Tanya, because I love it. I fell in love with it so fast that I thought, everyone's going to love this because it's great. It's the best thing. And I'm convinced, so I feel I can just open my mouth, and I feel like it's not really working. Something's got to change. So I'm going to use Tanya more in just, I know the big ones that I really have a thought of, okay, they'd be a great coach right off the bat. I would need Tanya. That's how I felt before. But the ones that I just tell about the health, the health side of it, the nutrition, I can do that. I love nutrition. I've always loved nutrition. So that's one takeaway that I got from you. And then also just that you didn't get your 5 in that first month, because I'm thinking, okay, I've been in about 2 weeks now. I don't have my 5. I don't even think I'm close to it. And that gets you down when you hear with other people that have done that. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, well, and that's awesome. And actually, you're right on. And but we do a lot of comparative reality, don't we?
Yeah.
We do a lot of, oh, well, they can do it. I can't. I don't know if I can do it. Don't worry about all that. You grow into it, and don't worry about the no's. They just get you closer to the yeses. And guess what? If you get a no, but you've done your job, you could feel good. You can feel good about like offering that to them. Like you offered something to them that could change their life. They decided they didn't want to do it right then. And that's fine. You can keep the relationship going. But by the way, one thing, do not stop the relationships. When people say no, how did you feel when you had somebody try to get you into something? I know everybody's probably had that happen. So get you into something. And then afterwards you said, well, I'm not really interested. And then what happens is after that, you don't hear from them again.
Right.
You feel used.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Don't be that person. Drip on them 7 times. You don't even know when they're going to decide to say yes. And my wife, sometimes she gets upset with me a little bit. She goes, you already talked to them. You already talked to them. I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to them again. And she's like, what? You already talked? I'm like, I don't care. I don't care because it's not about me. I don't care what they do. But I'm going to make sure that they know what it can do for them. And if they want to do it, great. If they don't, great. I don't care. I'm not going to be hurt. I could go through 100 no's and not be hurt. Why? Because it's not about me.
That's my motto. If you can't get through the front door, use the back. If you can't use the back, find a window. There's always a way.
and don't worry about like when somebody no-shows their own home like they did with me. Like, you go to their house and you know they're in the house, but they're not opening the door.
Back to the old mission experience, right?
Well, yeah, but that happened in this too.
Oh, I know. You were just prepared for that.
Oh, yeah. No, that prepared me, definitely. Anyway.
Michelle's objective right now is a lot of the prepackaged food. So I told her, let's get on some calls because it's not about the food. So.
No, the food's the last thing, but.
Well, Bryan, I did want to say one thing or ask you one thing. I mean, the no's never have bothered me, but I'm a competitive person, but for me, where I have been struggling is the attrition rate. The attrition rate's been really high for me of people that get on the program and quit. And I struggle with that only because I know what it's done for me. I know what it can do for them. And I know everyone's in a different place. And I know that this isn't for everybody, maybe not right now. Maybe they'll hopefully come back later. But it's very personal to me because Ian, you talked about relationships. And I still have good relationships. Everyone that has quit the program that I put on the program, I still have a good relationship with them.
Good.
But it's still hard for me because I know what it could really be doing for them. And so sometimes that's probably one of my bigger struggles. Talking to people about it isn't too bad for me. I'm better talking than the multimedia.
So the big thing with that is really hit on the 4 components every time you talk to them. Like, cause it is about the coach. It's about the community. It's about getting them engaged. It's about staying engaged. It's like, we belong like to this health church, if we don't stay engaged, we're going to go the other direction. That's just the way it is. That's the way any of us are. Like, we're more alike than we are different. But the problem is not, so if people quit, I've had hundreds quit. I don't care. I mean, I understand what you're saying. You do care about it because you care about the people, but that's their choice. What I do is I give them an option of coming back. I say, well, you treated it like a diet last time. Let's treat it like a program this time. Yeah. And so the people that treat it like a program are going to have success throughout their whole entire life. And the food is just there to make sure people are eating the 6 meals a day and getting the proper nutrients. Like I always love saying, eat a meal, replace a meal. Like if you're not having a good meal, have one of our Optavia fuelings because it's better for you than that donut. See, I mean, so anytime somebody's eating our food, it's better for them than even if they're not losing weight. Like I was like, people go, well, I'm kind of like, I'll have somebody say, well, I cheated today. I'm like, what did you do? They said, well, I had a piece of pizza or whatever it is. It is. Okay, well, yeah, you're probably not in fat burn now, right? But what else do you do during the day? Well, I had, 3 of the Optavia. Okay. So you're healthier today than you would have been if you didn't have it, right? And then I can also say, now you know what maintenance is like. You see that it's a different mindset. Like people like go like for this all or nothing. It's like, no, I don't care. I don't care about all that, because if I'm using some of the fuelings, I'm healthier than if I was not using them. Unless I'm eating the exact right things all the time, which I'm not, and most people are not. So like I can go all day and have 3 fuelings and have 300 calories. I've got room for other things. See, but it's how we talk to people about it, and if we answer their if we listen to them, like what it is they're going through. But one thing that's going to happen too, to you as well as it happened to me, people come back if you have the relationship with them. Like they get to a point, like I had a coach yesterday a coach that lost 100 pounds on the program, gained 60 back in the last couple of years because he was just going obviously total off the program. And I said, well, what you did last time is you treated it like a diet. This time you need to treat it like a program and use our 4 components. And what's going to happen to your business if you get back engaged? So he's now on the program, being coached. But you see, it's different for everyone how they treat it. So not everybody's going to treat it like you.
Yeah.
And but the people they'll come back. Trust me, they always come back. Like what else are they going to use? I mean, have you seen the stuff out there? It's like some of it's almost laughable. It's like, really? You're going to do that? Like that's going to be a long-term solution for you? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like I have a hard time believing that anything works even close to what we have. I mean, it doesn't. So the point is if they don't use the 4 components, then they're going to gain their weight back over time. But they can always come back.
Yep. You're
just there to be there when they come back. So it's again, you're doing your job by being there and building the relationships with them and not judging them. Oh, yeah. Like there's no shame in our game, man. There is no shame in our game. Shame is a bad thing. I don't care what people do to what they do to their bodies is their choice. I don't care if someone's eating McDonald's in front of me. I could care less. I don't judge them because I have my own problems. But the point is this: I'll be there when they're ready. That's what a good coach is there for. And if you're doing your job and you're there and you're building a relationship, don't worry about it. I mean, obviously talk to them about it. And when you do get in a conversation, let them know why this is important long-term.
Well, and I'll give you an example of that real fast. I had a guy, Ron's one of the examples, first of all. He was on a diet and then he kept struggling. So I said, be a coach. So that's what's his mindset. But I had somebody call me the other day. He's called me over and over and over. He keeps wanting me to be a ketogenic sponsor, or I don't even know what they call him. But he said, I don't want to sell bird food and make money. And he said, because I tried everything and it didn't work. I said, because it's all about the way you treat people, and that's what they'll do. And that's ultimately back to what we do and what we keep. I try to keep reminding you guys is we are a support system. If you assure people that we will be here if they need help, then that is how your business grows. If it's about the bird food, throw it to your dogs, feed it to your chickens. I don't care what you do with it. But like Bryan says, if you don't have that support system, then those people are going to be struggling regardless.
Yep. No, Tanya, that's great, because that's exactly true. I mean, you got a great mentor here, guys. User, I say user and abuser. I always tell people, use and abuse me, man. Get me on calls. Get me on calls. Let me know what I can do to help you, because I want to help. And the only way we can do this is by helping each other. Now, I'm not sorry, I can't get on. I'm driving my car now, so I'm just on speaker. But it's this thing is the real deal, guys. I have never seen anything like it in the 16 and a half years I've been doing it. And I get hit up with stuff all the time. And we're not that company. We're not a recruiting model. We help people with their health. We actually can create residual income in this business. Most companies can't create residual income because they're recruiting models. They're going out and selling a house every month, you know, and then no offense to the, to the realtor, because we need people that sell houses. But the point is they're not duplicatable, and they're not residual. A lot of these models out there. Our business model is very, very unique. Once you understand that and the power of our model, you'll get very, very excited about it, because there's nothing that even holds a candle to it. And I'm not saying that just to say that. I'm saying that because it's true. Like I will hold our company, our model, our business model up to any business model on the planet today. We are that good. Not kidding. Dan is an amazing man, what he did with this business model. You know, over a period of a year, people that come into this business, I think it's like 60 to 70% of people stay in the business. Do you know how crazy that retention is? Like, you don't even, like most traditional businesses don't have that. I didn't have it with my business. And the problem is, with my business, I was just training my competition. Like, the good guys would all go out and do their own thing. And then I have more competition. With this, I try to help them understand they can have what I have and more if they so choose. So it is really a different kind of business model. And our program is obviously the best program out there. I don't know what program gives the results that this does, and especially long-term with those that stay engaged. And people always say, well, you're going to eat that the rest of your life. I'm like, what are you going to eat? You know, I love that question. It's like, because I love giving that answer. It's like, what are you going to eat? Oh, okay, now I get it. It's like, I loved eating. That's what got me here in the first place. I love all food. But my point is what are you going to eat? How are you going to live? You know? And our business model is just as great, if not, in my mind, better than our program. So anyway, I hope that gives you guys, you know, some inspiration, or gives you an idea of what this is all about, because this is a lot bigger than any of us.
And if you guys can't feel his energy after 16 years, that should say something.
Yeah, you know, it never gets old. It's like, I love hearing people's stories. Like, who was the one that just said they lost 40 pounds and off of medications and stuff like that? I mean, that is inspiring, because that has given you a new life. I mean, the stories, if you guys want a really good cry, a good cry, come to convention. You got to bring tissues with you, because you hear the stories and it'll amaze you. Like, people used to get excited about The Biggest Loser. You know, I mean, they used to, like, the hottest thing on television. Why? Because of the stories. None of it was sustainable, but the stories brought people to tears. You want to get, you know, Isaiah, you know, you want a good cry, then come to convention. And it's not just about the health stories. It's about the transformations in people's lives, you know, their full life. Anyway, I can go on and on and on, Tanya. You know me.
Oh, you know me. We can keep this going all evening.
Anyway,
So
it's great being on with you guys, Zoe.
Sorry, I said that's why I called you in, is because your energy.
Well, sometimes I get a little too crazy, but I love it. I do because of what it does for people. I don't even, you know, so sometimes I get to, like, when I'm on a Zoom call, my wife will text me. She'll go, "You're yelling again." She gets all kind of embarrassed sometimes, and I'm like, "Honey, I love what I do. I can never stop doing it. It is, like, too much fun, and honestly, it's changing people's lives." You know what's funny though about my wife? She came to a convention. She didn't go to anything with me until 4 years into this, and we were making like $15,000 a month at that time. And so I said, "Look, you're coming with me. We're gonna take your parents. They're gonna watch the kids. We're gonna go to this event." And so she came, and at the end of that event, and I'll just leave with this: at the end of that event, she came up to me, and there's only 200 people at that event. That was the first one she went to. It was 4 years into it. And the second year, I think we had 250. The next year, 450. This year, we're going to have over 5,000 people there at the event. But she came up to me afterwards with tears in her eyes and said, now I get why you do it. And that's all I have to say.
And the more you get out there and share it, you guys will have the exact same passion he has, because I feel the exact same way he does. And it's not because I've had success through it, it's because I've had struggle and I didn't quit.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And the struggles is what makes it real, is what it makes it, the bigger struggle, the better, you know? I mean, honestly, the bigger struggle, the better, as long as you keep on going. I mean, I love talking about struggles because everybody's got them, and everybody's, you know, got a lot of crap going on in their life, and we're more alike than we are different. We have financial struggles. We have struggles with food, you know? I mean, you talk to my kids, they'll be like, my dad doesn't eat right all the time. And they're definitely correct. And I'll be totally transparent. I am not eating healthy all the time, guys. But I'll tell you what I don't do, or what I do. What I do is I eat every 3 hours. And I probably have 3 Optavia every day. And I do drink lots of water. My point is I'm healthier now than I was 16 years ago. There's something can be said for that. Am I where I want to be? No. But it's like laundry. It's never done. Our health is never done. Our business is never done. We're not done until we're done in the ground. And I'd rather live life full out than not. So there you go.
I have nothing to add to that.
Well, I'm now at my chiropractic appointment, and I got to go, but I don't have it for another few minutes. But I know we're about an hour now, so maybe we went too long. I don't know. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. You know, if we're not friends on Facebook, friend me, whatever. I love, you know, seeing people's stories and stuff, and I love the struggles people go through, because that makes it all the better. If we didn't go through struggles, we wouldn't know what it's like to have, you know, the good times. And honestly, it makes us better people, and it helps us help other people overcome their struggles. So get out of your own way and go out and help other people, because the only way we're happy in life, I believe, is by helping other people, period. Like when we're all focused on ourselves, that's when we get into trouble. We're focused on instant gratification. That's where we get into trouble. If we're focused on long-term sustainability and satisfaction from helping other people, that's when we have the most success in our lives. So.
I appreciate that. And I so appreciate your time. There's a couple coaches that didn't get to jump on, but hopefully we'll grab you again another time. But anyway, thank you, Bryan. Very much so.
All right. You guys got a great mentor. Worker.
Use me. I like it. I'm competitive.
Yep.
Let's go.
Awesome. And have a great day. Have a great week, guys.
Thank you.
I'm glad to get to know some of you. Look forward to seeing you at convention.
They will. They want to show up.
Yep, you'll want to. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you guys jumping on. Hopefully you saw some of his energy, some tips that I've missed, some things that he said that I've confirmed. It's a structured program. If you do it, it works. If you try to figure it out on your own, then it's going to be left to a model that your coaches are going to think that they need to do it by themselves, and on and on and on. So what you do is what your team will repeat. And the ones that thought they could do it on their own are not here anymore because they were selling products. We are not, this is a community. Again, I don't care where you live, we should be able to encourage each other and give each other takeaways. What's working for you, and what's working for you, and what's not working for you. And that's kind of why I want to come together as coaches and not just have it be me the one leading it, but all of us contributing. So That's why I call you guys out. Sorry, Michelle. Her heart's racing, but I'm like, hey, you'll be a leader someday too, so you got to practice it. Any questions from anybody?
Yeah, why isn't Danielle smiling back there? That's what I want to know. What's going on?
It's probably past
Looking
lunch.
way too serious.
I'm sorry,
Back there
Ray.
taking notes on the.
I'm hungry.
She's hangry. I know the
I'm
feeling.
hungry now.
She's hangry.
Go get a fueling.
I need to go.
We've been there. So.
Yeah. We got work at our workout this morning. Anyway, a couple things. Our Farmington community is having an event the 17th of March, and we would love for anybody to come. The flyer is up. The more we, show up to these, the more we'll get to know more people, and it's a chance for them to meet more people. And like Sarah was saying, we don't have a story, but there's people there that will. So use each other's stories. My business grows off of other people's success. Anybody else have any questions, anything? Next week training, I will promise I will put out an outline. I already have it, by the way, of what we're going to go over. So give you guys an idea of some things and have a chance to put some questions out there. One thing that I did just post on our messenger thread, though, is that call that Bryan Drollenger was talking about from corporate. So it's from now the 6th until the 13th at 6:30 Eastern time. Dial in, and it's giving us the latest information. So just more validation on, how the company works from the back side. But we don't need to go out and share factual information. Just let people know, hey, if there's something you want help with, I'm here to help you. And that's, again, like I posted in our messenger group, keep it simple. If they want to know a cost, if they want to know how much is it, or it's too expensive, then they're not looking for support and a community. And that's what I'm like, well, call me when you do. I don't know what a cost is. I don't even know your name. So I don't know what your issues are. So we got to get on the phone. We're running a business. Keep it that way. Don't just spend all day texting back and forth to somebody. If they're not going to get on the phone, then they're not ready. Just saying. Anybody else? Michelle? Just kidding. There's two Michelles. Yes.
It freaks me out every time. Like, huh? Who, me? So I do have a question. I don't know if I should just ask this just to you, but I have someone in Boise, Idaho that would really do well with a face-to-face, because she would be huge. She's the one doing that makeup, and she's already six figures in makeup, and I think she would be absolutely fabulous at this. Their energy is just crazy. So would he meet with her? I mean, she's a huge potential.
We could set up Zooms and do just this. Trust me, Bryan has had my back every time I've got myself in a bind. So don't be afraid to talk. Our company backs us. He makes a few $100,000 a month, just saying. And he has always showed up. Dan Bell's the co-founder of the company. He wrote our compensation plan. I've had Bryan Drollenger, Dan Bell, a corporate fitness trainer, myself, and my mentor all on the phone before, just because I opened my mouth and then I was like, oh crap, now what? And he said, all right, well, I'll call in the people and we'll get you on the phone. So I promise you, if you find people and you need bigger guns than me, then we got your back.
Okay. If he just
all you gotta do is get him on the phone.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll get it set up.
Okay. And his time's a little bit more flexible, so get like 2 or 3 times.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna jump off to take care of my daughter.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Anyway, I know a lot of you guys are on lunch breaks, have sick kids, whatnot, but I appreciate it. Every Wednesday at this time, let's keep trying to come and contribute to this. Any more questions, anybody?
Feed Danielle before she faints.
She's on a FitPal and she's got her macros, and if it's not in it, then she can't eat it. So
Is that-
otherwise, she can have anything in my fridge. Kidding, I'm about to pee my pants.
I know.
Kidding. Okay, anybody? Hey, Ray, do you mind real fast? And if anybody else needs to go, you can go for it. But Sally, I'm gonna put you out there. Don't hate me for it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Ray was one of my worst clients and best clients. He had a understanding that exercise was the way, and I had to fully convince him. I just want Sally to understand, and I know she's got the big picture, but I just want you to explain how well the program worked when you stopped your exercise.
Well, number one, I didn't completely stop my exercise. You limited me to only burning 250 to 300 calories a day in the gym, which was like nothing because I normally burn around 800 to 1,000 calories in the gym. So that was a huge cultural change for me. But the thing was is that my concern is I thought I would go into atrophy because I wasn't doing the things that I was doing, but I didn't. I did not lose any muscle at all. Again, it's, once you get into fat burn, especially early on, the exercise isn't what you need. In fact, and that's when I actually talk to people, even in the gym, that I talk to people that 70 to 80% of what you look like is what goes in your mouth. It's not what you do in the gym. I mean, I've watched people the last year that I've been in the gym, that I've seen in the gym for 2 years, working their stinking tails off, sweating and grunting and groaning and doing all this, and they don't look any different. Why? Because they don't change what goes in their mouth. And that's the difference. When Tanya convinced me, or converted me, I guess, that I didn't need all that gym work. Yeah, but it's still, because I enjoy the gym. I'm a crazy dude. I've always been a gym rat. I like to work out. I like to sweat. That's just, I like the endorphins. That's my Prozac. But like I said, so, for me, that was a huge change, and it actually, my body healed, which is what I needed to do, because I was actually abusing myself, because for me, the gym was a crutch. I could eat crap, and then what I'd do is I'd go in the gym and work it off. But I'm 60 years old. I can't, and I've had 2 heart attacks, so I can't do that anymore. My heart and my body won't let me do it. Now you can ask Carla, because she's been with me, but I still, now and I've been where I'm kind of where I needed to be for quite a while, but I've increased my gym again, but I've also increased my protein intake, those type of things, to compensate for it. Because again, I just like to work out. I'm a crazy person, but you don't, again, if you don't need a lot of gym. In fact, Carla and I would come home for the gym, and because Carla's knees were bad, and we would just go walk. That's what we would do. So,
Well, and I'm not trying to throw Sally under the bus at all. She was just, her and her daughter, we actually met them at the gym. So I was just trying to remind her how important it is to go slow in the beginning. But
oh yeah, because if you don't, then
20 fingers, she's done great.
Yeah, because what I did is, when I didn't do what Tanya told me to do, my body would get pissed. I would get hangry, like Danielle was doing, except a lot worse. I'd get a little grumpy. I'm just putting you on the spot, down, because I love you. You're such a spunky young one. So I just appreciate all you do on the Facebook, all the recipes and stuff you send it to help my daughter. But so anyways, but when, like I said, when I would do too much, my body would fight back. And then I could feel myself doing a little atrophy, or what I would try to do is compensate with extra calories. And then you just screw the whole world up. You get you out of fat burn. And the whole idea is to stay there. It's not that hard.
And
So,
he goes to Dairy Queen, and then it just piles up and up.
hey, now there's nothing wrong with Dairy Queen. Saying you got to have a triple truffle every once in a while just to help your disposition, or you're just not.
Plug yours, everybody. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Everybody has their favorite sins. That's all I can tell you. So.
Mine is chocolate as well.
Yeah. So hopefully that helped you a little bit, maybe. But I know that that was a huge cultural change for me to have to do that. But it definitely overall, again, helped me heal and gave me much better health because of it, and got me out of that abusive cycle that I was in.
Thank you. Just more reason to hear his story. So anybody else?
We tried that recipe with the baked chicken with asparagus and mozzarella last night. Really good. Really good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was nice to have something different, and it tastes really good too.
Well, cool. Well, Sarah's in Portland, so hopefully we'll meet her next weekend. But
Who is?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Wave, Sarah.
Wait a minute.
Okay. There she is. Yeah, they're in, or not Kirtland, I'm sorry.
We're in Aztec.
Aztec.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sally's in Kirtland.
Right.
Anyway, so just stay close to your mentor. Keep me busy. Keep us busy. We're in it together. So I will let you guys all run, and I appreciate your time again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Go have a blizzard.
Maybe tomorrow.